Welcome back to Frontside Press, where we have Jeff, Mike, and Julie in the middle. We have what do they say? What do the twins say? We got a really good show. So we're gonna be talking about permitless carry. So all your questions, give us all your questions about permitless carry, and just watch me cringe and twitch. And be thankful that we have freedom in Florida. But
is your camera blurred, or is it just, or am I the only one with a blurred screen? It looks blurry to me. Maybe I'm just.
We look blurry.
There we go. Look at that. That's much better. Yep. Nope. Yep. Look at that. Yep. It's almost like I put my glasses on, but I was already wearing my glasses. Perfect. Much better. I can see my beautiful beardless face in all its glory. So yes, welcome. Frontside Press. Every Thursday, 8-ish. Read the shirt.
How do we do?
Is that a new one or that's the old one? That's the original one.
The old one. The original.
One. Yeah,
this is the OG shirt.
Yeah. Nope. I got it all set up. I got a guy. I just got to go buy the shirts and email him the logos and stuff. So we'll have those hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So we'll all be matching issues.
Awesome.
So yeah, first Thursday of the month. It's not first Tuesday, otherwise Cindy would be here. So it's the first Thursday of the month. Cindy's not here. She was supposed to be here tonight, but she had something come up and couldn't make it. So unfortunately, I'm still the only lawyer on the show this evening. So, oh well.
But it's great to have you. Even though
Thank you.
I got to move.
I appreciate it.
His nose. Yeah, so it's not on your face. There we go.
Welcome, everybody. So, yes, every Thursday, 8-ish, Frontside Press on Facebook, Musings of the MGL on YouTube. Hey, I picked up a few more subscribers this week for the first time in a couple of weeks. I now have 897. So, 3 subscribers away from 900 and 103 subscribers away from 1,000. So, I'm right there. So, spread the word. Create a fake YouTube account and just follow it. I don't really care. But let's get those numbers up. My watch hours are really high. I just need I just need 103 more subscribers, and then I could start maybe getting some ad money, which would help cover. Probably not much, but still, it'd be nice to get. It'd be a cool milestone to hit. So, 103 subscribers. Tell all your friends. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. My understanding is comments help the algorithm more than anything else because this type of content I don't think is very popular on YouTube. So I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot of algorithms that don't want us to obtain subscribers or whatever. So comment because that apparently helps the algorithm more than anything else.
The content is popular on YouTube, not
correct
with YouTube.
We've got some
correct.
Offers.
Yeah, who we got on?
100%.
We have Louis Soto says hello.
Louis.
Lana's on.
Lana.
Kat's on.
Kat.
Ed Adamski.
Hey.
Uh-oh, where'd they go?
None of these people are subscribers on my channel. I'm certain of that.
Well, if you're watching and you missed what Jeff was just saying, go on YouTube and go over to his channel and subscribe to it so we can get him up to 1,000 so we can get some money.
You can watch it. Yeah, you can watch it on Frontside Press on Facebook. That doesn't matter to me and put your comments and stuff there, but you can at least subscribe to the channel to get the numbers up, whichever.
Plus,
I don't want to beg too much. I sound like
whenever you ask me a question, I got to ask him anyway, so let's just skip the middleman and go right to him.
Just skip the middleman. Go straight there. Sure thing.
Hey, how much do you know about teachers carrying in school and the laws behind that?
What do you mean? I know what I know.
What do you know?
Like, well, I mean, you have to have more perspective. You talk about in Florida, you talking about private schools, you're talking about public schools, you're talking about the statute. I mean, in Florida, you can.
Private schools in Florida, what do you have to go through to have a teacher? Can they get away with the D&G license? Do they have to go through the Guardian program? Can they not do it at all?
My understanding is they all have to be guardians. Even I think even if it's a private school, they all have to be the guardians because the law on the books is still no firearms on campus. The exception is people who have gone through the guardian program. So I don't think, for example, I could be wrong. I could research it while we're here, but I don't think a private school could just hire any old security guard to be there with a firearm. I believe they have to go through the guardian program.
All right. All right. Well, everybody get their beverage.
I'm gonna look real quick while we're goofing off. You can do the toast and do all that stuff, and I'm gonna, I'm a lawyer and I know a lot of things, but lots of times you can just Google stuff and find it yourself.
Well, you can. I'm dyslexic. It doesn't work that way.
Scott and Kelly Van
Proyan. Yep, Scotty.
Hi, Scotty.
My first friend in Florida.
Yes.
That was in like 92 or 91.
Mm-hmm.
That's how old we are. We're freaking old.
Oh.
But I'm older than him. All right, so here's the toast. Everybody ready? Everybody got their beverage? What the hell? It is around the table that friends understand best the warmth of being together.
I'd like to make another toast. I have a good friend of mine who I've known since I was a little kid, went through high school together, et cetera, et cetera. He still lives locally here in Venice. He was diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago. He went through 3 years of chemotherapy. He went through experimental trials and everything else. And unfortunately, he entered hospice care about 13 weeks ago, and he passed away this morning. So he battled the cancer for 3 years. He has a wife. He has two children. So he's a good friend of me and my family. Like I said, I've known him my whole life. We went to high school together. So it's a sad day for him. His name is Peter Mason. He was a really great guy, really fun person. He was a financial advisor. He's a local person that like me, has lived in the Venice area basically his whole life. And unfortunately, obviously you all know that I have experience with cancer through my wife and everything. Thankfully, my wife came out on the other side of it, fully basically cured, for lack of a better term, at this point in time. But he gave it a good fight and couldn't make it. So I'd like to propose a toast to my good friend, Peter Mason. Rest in peace, buddy. We'll see you soon. You gave it a good fight, and everybody's going to take care of your family, so they'll be safe. Yeah, and fuck cancer. So if you know anybody out there who has cancer, donate to these charities. Try and get some of these programs going. They do a lot of cool experiment stuff these days, but it's still a pain in the ass thing that not everybody can beat, and it takes a lot of people too young. So hug your family. Eat the dessert, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Also, there's a couple of weird stories locally. If you saw in the newspaper, there was a 21-year-old kid on a motorcycle, and these guys were stealing converters. There were two guys that were going around stealing converters, which is apparently a big deal these days, to steal these catalytic converters. And as they were fleeing the catalytic converter scene or theft scene, they drove over and killed a 21-year-old kid on his motorcycle, driving on Fruitville Road just to get away, smashed the shit out of their car to where the car couldn't drive anymore. It broke down on the on-ramp on the Fruitville, but they must have had a buddy or something. Somebody else rolled up in a car, and they jumped in and drove off, and those guys are still on the loose. So you have a 21-year-old kid that was run over by catalytic converter thieves, and he died. He's got a mom, a sister, et cetera, and he wasn't doing anything wrong. He's just riding his motorcycle. So you never know when some weird shit like that can happen to you as well.
People suck.
And then, not to get even more depressed, did you see this plane crash in Venice?
No.
So, plane crash in Venice. 2 deceased males were recovered Wednesday night following a plane crash a half-mile west of the Venice fishing pier, having been identified as pilot William Lumpkin, 64, of Indiana, and Ricky Beaver, 60, of Noblesville, Indiana. A debris field was also located Wednesday night. Rescue teams did not locate the plane or any other passengers last night. Divers weren't able to deploy until Thursday morning. At 11:56 this morning, divers located the main portion of the aircraft as well as the bodies of two females believed to be the male spouses, Patricia Lumpkin and Elizabeth Beaver of Noblesville. Their wreckage is at a depth approximately 23 feet. They flew from St. Pete Airport down to Venice Airport. They went to Sharky's for dinner, and then on their way, when they left the airport in Venice, they crashed into the Gulf, and all four of them died. So it's been a really weird couple of days here locally for strange deaths and stuff. So make sure you live your life to the fullest, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
And that's why you should permitless carry, because you don't want to get shot or robbed and die prematurely.
There you go. Nothing better than a bunch of untrained people walking around with guns.
That's right. That's what this country was built on.
I used to shoot cigarette butts with the BB gun when I was a kid, so now I'm qualified to carry concealed.
That's right. How many of
I'm not part
our
of the problem.
founding
I'm part of
fathers
the
went through training with their muskets, and thank God they had them.
You ride that wave.
Breaking. Trans male arrested for planned Colorado school shooting. Breaking news. So there was another trans that was going to shoot up a Colorado school, but they stopped him. I don't fucking know, but they stopped them. So breaking news, trans male.
What is that?
How much training she had?
T-shirt had conspiracy theorist on it, right? I identify as a conspiracy theorist that says my pronouns are told you so.
I say I was right. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. That's hilarious.
Be careful, because they're out there and they're coming and they hate everybody. So,
well, I don't know if they hate everybody. They've been whipped up into a frenzy. I mean, you shouldn't loop everybody or lump everybody into one group, but there are a certain percentage of them, obviously, who have been whipped into a frenzy by politicians for political gain, saying people are out to get you, you're out to be exterminated. And when you're constantly told that you're about to be exterminated, wouldn't you want to defend yourself? So I mean, it's a logical extension of what these people are being told. You take people who clearly, obviously have. Well, you take people who clearly, obviously have probably mental health problems in the first place, and then you whip them up with all of this talk about conspiracy nonsense that they're being hunted and everything else. You know, it doesn't surprise me that that's what they would do.
Here's my theory on that.
Doesn't excuse it, but
they think
welcome to
people
America.
are hunting them, and they think it's people like us hunting them. They should come after us. They shouldn't go after kids.
Yeah, but we would shoot them back.
I know, and that's not good for a coward. So
correct. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know, that's my thing. Like, you know, my deal with people and how they live their lives is, you know, you do you, boo. That's it. I don't care. But when you start organizing to be terrorists and your main goal is to kill kids, someone should decapitate you. That's it. You know, I don't know what war kids fight. So I don't know why they want to hunt kids. Yes. Yep.
So Jordan says, "Trust me, I know how to shoot. My sister-in-law's boyfriend is a Marine."
There it is.
Yeah, that's
like I haven't heard that 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so let's get to my favorite topic of what is it? Permitless carry. So give us the rules. What do we got going on, Jeff?
So, first off, I did a video on it a couple of days ago, so people should subscribe to Musings with MGL, and they'll be able to see the video that I did on it and keep up to date on all of those video topics when they come out. As far as this stream goes, all right, so in a nutshell, Florida has permitless concealed carry right now as a result of this new law. It's not constitutional carry. Everybody keeps calling it constitutional carry. Constitutional carry means no real restrictions at all. So concealed carry open carry, no restrictions on places like sports stadiums and courthouses and stuff, and being 18 as an adult to have one. So that's basically what constitutional carry means. So quit calling this constitutional carry. It is permitless concealed carry. All that means is as of well, not today, on July 1st, the law goes into effect. So the first thing people need to know is it doesn't go into effect till July 1st. It's not effective today. The governor signed it, but all laws become effective on July 1st when they get published in the statute. So if you sit here today and go, oh, well, now I can permitless carry, yeah, you're wrong. If you put a gun in your pocket or under your seat and you don't have a concealed carry permit, you're still going to get charged up until July 1st. So number one is it doesn't take place until July 1st. And all it says is if on July 1st, you are a person who is eligible to get a concealed carry permit. So in other words, there's that long list of things that you have to qualify for in order to get a permit. Can't be a prohibited person with a convicted felony. Can't smoke marijuana or have a marijuana card. American citizen or resident legal alien. All of the normal things that would allow you to fill out your paperwork and pay your fee today and get a permit. If that is you, you don't have to get a permit. You can just concealed carry. But you have to be one of those people. So one of the questions I got earlier today was, how does this affect medical marijuana and marijuana? It doesn't. You are still a prohibited person if you are smoking marijuana, even with a medical marijuana card, which means you can't have a firearm. If you are a prohibited person, you can't get a concealed carry permit. If you can't get a concealed carry permit, you can't carry concealed without one. So it just means, it's a very limited concept that just means if you're eligible for a permit, you can concealed carry without having to pay the fee and send in the paperwork and take the training to get your permit. That's all that it means. It doesn't change anything else about carrying a firearm. The restrictions are still in place. You can't carry one into a bar. You can't carry one into a sporting event. You can't carry one onto a school. Like, all the same rules apply. You just don't have to pay the money to get the permit. Open carry is still illegal. They didn't touch anything about that. All those statutes are still the same. All the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Act is still in effect, which means 21 and not 18. Red flag laws. If you get a red flag injunction, you still can't carry a firearm. It doesn't matter whether you have a permit or not. So it really didn't change anything other than you don't have to take the $50 training class at the gun show underneath the bleachers, and you don't have to pay the fee to send in the application to get your permit to carry around in your wallet. That's all that it means. It doesn't change anything else about firearm laws in the state of Florida.
Can you permitless carry at a fair?
If you can conceal carry at the fair, then you can permitless carry, yes.
Just checking.
Same rules. Now, those are the type of little nuances that are going to be interesting because, as you said, when you go to the Sarasota County Fair, I just went a couple weeks ago, they do have metal detectors and they do have a no gun sign, but because it's on the government property, they can't prevent you from carrying the firearm because of the preemption statute. If you have a concealed carry permit, you can still take a firearm in there, but now you don't need the permit. So I think that means anybody can walk into the fair with a concealed firearm now, and I don't even know what those metal detectors are for, quite frankly.
To scare people off that don't have a lawyer they can talk to.
Yeah, basically. People who don't know the rules. I mean, there are people with carry permits that don't think they can carry a firearm at the fair, despite the fact that it gets asked multiple times a year on the various Facebook pages. So that's all it means is you just don't need the permit, but everything else about the law applies.
So Geneva says,
Go
question
ahead.
for you. So no concealed renewals moving forward.
No, that's
What was
not
that?
true. You can renew it, you don't have to.
Right.
Basically, the only thing it's
you
going
can
to do
still
for you
go
is
ahead.
you'll like the concealed weapons license now is going to be used for two things. One, so you don't have to wait 3 days. All right, because you're going to have to wait 3 days if you don't have a license. And two, it's valid in other states. Like you can't leave Florida and take our freedom with you. So that's what that means.
You must have watched the video I just posted 3 days ago that explained those two things, or those three things. So those two things.
Video.
So there are three. So yes, the concealed carry permit process still exists. Again, they didn't change anything about it. People are overthinking this law. All they did was say if you can get a permit, you don't have to. But the permit system still exists. So if you want to keep your permit, you keep your permit. You renew it just like you did before. You can apply for a new one like you did before. It doesn't change anything about that. And having the permit actually does three things in my mind. One is you get to skip the waiting period. So you're absolutely correct about that. If you have your permit, you can still walk out of the store that day with your firearm. You don't have to wait the 3 days, or it's 5 days in some counties, depending on what their county rules are. So you can skip the waiting period. Two is the reciprocity. You're absolutely right about that again. It allows you to carry in certain other states that have reciprocity. Now, the way it works, there's less states now because, for example, if we're a permitless carry state and you go to another permitless carry state, you have reciprocity. You don't have to have the permit because both states are permitless carry. There are a few states, though, that have reciprocity with our license that are not permitless carry. I think there's like 13 of them that are left on the list. So for those specific states, you would still need to have a carry permit. So if you want to travel to every state that has reciprocity with Florida, you still need your permit. And the third reason that I am encouraging people to still get the permit, and I will still keep one, is it will protect you from overzealous law enforcement and overzealous prosecutors who either don't like this new law or don't understand it. Because if I'm getting all of these questions from people in the gun community who think this law does way more than it does, the prosecutors and the cops aren't going to know anything about it either. They're going to misunderstand the law. Or if people aren't watching my videos because they haven't subscribed to Musings with MGL, they're going to think the law allows them to do a bunch of more things than it actually does. They're going to think they can now have marijuana with it. Because, again, all the articles and stuff are calling it constitutional carry, which has a completely different meaning than this law does. So you're going to get people that are now going to open carry because they think they can open carry. You get people who are going to think they can wait until, or do it now and not wait until July 1st. You're going to have people that think they can bring it to schools because they don't realize that the school rule still exists. So I think everybody, if you're eligible to get a permit, you should still just get the permit because it will allow you to skip the waiting period. It'll allow you to have reciprocity, and it's going to allow you protection from what's inevitably going to be confrontations between people who don't understand this new law as civilians and law enforcement and prosecutors who don't understand this law as government people, and it's going to be an inevitable conflict there between those two things. But if you've got the permit in your pocket, you're going to be just fine. For example, I'll give you a quick little example of what I'm talking about. Right now, if you already have your permit and you start smoking marijuana or get a medical marijuana card, there's really no way for the Department of Agriculture to know that you've done that. They don't cross-reference their stuff. So let's say you have your permit and you're lawfully concealed carrying, walking down the street smoking a joint. Some people are stupid. Trust me, they hire me every day. And you're walking down the street smoking a joint, and a cop approaches you. There's no law he can charge you or arrest you with. If he thinks you're impaired, you can have maybe an impaired carrying, but let's say you're not impaired, you're just smoking a marijuana joint. There's no law he can arrest you for. If you have a medical marijuana card, you can't be arrested. all he can do is really send a letter to the Department of Agriculture that says, hey, we found this guy with a gun and smoking marijuana, so suspend his license. That's all he can do. But if you're walking down the street concealed carrying without a permit and smoking a joint, well, the law says you can only permitless carry if you are qualified to get a permit. Well, if you're smoking marijuana or have a medical marijuana card, guess what? You're not qualified to get a permit. So now he can actually still arrest you for carrying concealed firearm because you aren't eligible to get a permit because you are smoking marijuana, which makes you a prohibited person. So if you have the permit, all you can do is get a letter sent to the Department of Agriculture. If you don't have the permit, now you're going to jail for a felony because you're carrying a concealed firearm. So there are still numerous reasons why people should have a permit. So if you are eligible to get a permit, just get the damn permit. The government is not, I'm a Second Amendment absolutist, but that's why I like the law giving me the option. But I'm also a practical person who says if I can have the option, I'm going to do it. Just like if it was open carry, I agree with you. I would never open carry. To me, that's stupid, and I would never do it. But that's different than saying that people should have the option to do it under the statute. So I'm okay with this law. I don't think it goes far enough. I know you and I disagree with that, but I don't think it goes far enough. But I'm okay with the law giving people the right to carry without a permit. But I think a reasonable, logical person should still get the permit because it has a lot of beneficial things to it. So I'm advising everybody to still get a permit.
We have a question from Victor. What about the school zones and being within 1,000 feet? I understood a CWP license. We are exempt from that.
No. Nope. You have in Florida, as long as you have your license, you're concealed and you're in the same car. And Jeff, you can stop me at any time, right? You are allowed to drop off and pick up your kids in the drop off and pick up lane. All right. You're not allowed to get out of the car. You're not allowed to take the gun off, get out of the car. You're not allowed to park the car, take the gun off, get out of the car. You're allowed to stay in your car and drop your kid off or pick your kid up while you are concealed with your license. Your license does not make it so you can carry at a school. Good?
Right. Right. The only exception is inside your vehicle for the essentially the drop off and pick off section. There's some debate about whether parking in a parking lot is okay. So let's say you go have lunch with your kid and you park your car in the parking lot and go into school and have lunch for a half hour and come back out. There are some lawyers out there that read the statute that says that's lawful. There are some lawyers that read it and say, no, that's not. Again, I err on the logical side of why push it.
Right.
You don't want to be the test case who has to go in front of a judge and have somebody figure out whether that's lawful or not. But the 1,000 feet of the school thing, what people usually talk about is walking by a school. So, if there's a sidewalk in front of the school and you're taking your dog for a walk, lots of people carry, obviously, when they go for walks or take their dogs or ride a bike, you're not inside your vehicle. So if you're walking by the school, 1,000 feet means 1,000 feet. So you're probably violating the law technically by doing that. Now, there aren't cops just randomly pulling people over out in front of the schools and patting them down because you still got to have probable cause to do that. But theoretically, yeah, you can't be within 1,000 feet of a school with a firearm, but for that limited exception of having it in your vehicle during those short little durations, give or take a drop off. So this doesn't change anything about that. Whether you got a permit or don't have a permit, you can't be within 1,000 feet of a school with a firearm unless it's, as we discussed, with the vehicle. So it doesn't change anything about that.
Yeah, you gotta understand. You got to read between the lines why the law is like that. Like, just like the one where, you can drink in a you can drink while you're carrying, though I don't recommend this whatsoever. Okay. But if you go in a restaurant, you're allowed to drink with your meal. All right. If you go in a restaurant that has a bar in it, you're allowed to walk through the bar. not stop and linger in the bar. The reason for that is, just think about it, is like, that's so they can't tell you can't go to the friggin' bathroom. Right?
Right.
So they're saying, like, if you have to go to the bathroom, you can walk to the bathroom and go to the bathroom, then you can walk your slap happy ass back. Right? As long as you don't sit and hang out at the bar. Okay? Right. You want to be in a restaurant, you go to a restaurant to eat. Right? You go to a bar to drink. And there's your difference. They're not, the school law is so that they basically, if you have to drop your kid off and go to work and then pick them up, they're saying, like, you're still allowed to carry concealed if you have a child, right? You know, you're allowed to carry other days than holidays in the summer. You know, that's what they're saying. You know, it's not if you have a concealed weapons license, then you're
okay to come on the school grounds, right?
Right. That's not what it's saying. It's saying you can drop your little brat off as long as you don't get your silly ass out of the car, right? So it's more of I'll tell you what we'll let you do, okay? Mm-hmm. So as long as you're not an idiot, you can drop your kid off as long as you don't get out and start walking around with your gun on, hugging your kid's face into your Glock and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not you took a 4-hour class, now you can, like, walk through the school armed. Right.
Well, that was a similar reasoning behind the law that allows you to keep your gun in your car at work now, because, you know, private places were saying, oh, you can't have a gun in your car in the parking lot. And then people were like, well, what if I'm driving from home? Right. I don't give up my Second Amendment right from my house all the way to the entry gate just because I have to go to work. So that's why they had to have that special carve out that says, right, they can have a right to tell you not to bring it in the building, but you have to have a right to keep it in your car because you commute back and forth to work. So what happens is they pass these laws, and then they have to wait until problems come up, and then they go through and do amendments like you can keep it in your car on the way to work, or do the drive off or the drive through and drop off with the kids, et cetera, et cetera. So there's always these little exceptions to that. But again, the important thing is whatever the laws were when it comes to your firearm on June 30th are the same laws that exist on July 1st. The only thing is you don't have to get a permit. Every other law as it relates to firearms is exactly the same. I don't know why people don't understand. It's not that difficult to figure out. Right.
Okay. Pablo says
people just can't figure that out.
There's an exception for a residence adjacent to a school within 1,000 feet of the zone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
because your house. Again, it's your house.
You got to leave your house.
Right. Again, right. It's your house. You're entitled to have it in your house, et cetera, et cetera.
A lot of these laws, though, a lot of these companies that do shit drive me crazy. You know what I mean? Like, just stupid shit. Like, we're gonna make it illegal for you to bring a gun to work. That way, we won't have anybody go crazy and shooting people at work. Why don't you just make it illegal for people to shoot people at work? Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah. Make it against the law of murder.
I just want to throw it out there. I'm not a lawyer. I just want to throw it out there.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. I mean, you can make the same argument about schools. You make schools a gun-free zone so people don't come shoot kids up at schools. But wouldn't you just have a law that says don't come shoot people at schools? Can you just put up a sign that says no guns on the school? That I don't know why that wouldn't work.
Yeah, that should work.
Logical to me.
You know what really works? When they put guys that are trained to shoot bad people in the face at schools. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then bad people who don't want to get shot in the face don't go there. That's it. I'm telling you. You want to do bad things, kid? Don't go to my kid's school. Because that guy will kill you. He'll kill you. Bring you back to life, kill you again. Probably do it the third time until you're nothing but goo. Like, don't go there. It's going to be a bad video. Go someplace else. don't go there. I mean, go there because, it's going to be funny. There you go. Yeah, that video will get views. You should be able, if you stop an active shooter, you should be able to mount their head. Like, why wouldn't we be able to do that? I think Elijah Dickin should be able to get that scumbag's head and have it mounted on his wall. We need a taxidermist because they make they don't mount fish, right? They just make a fish.
No, they use the original fish.
They use the original fish?
Yeah.
I thought they were just making fish. All right, you just ruined my plan. I think we should be able to have that guy's head and have it on a mount, and we could sell them. I'd definitely like to have one right here. And it's just or his eyes really big, because that's probably what they look like when he realized that somebody was shooting at him in a gun-free zone. I shouldn't have gave my secret away. Now someone's going to steal my idea.
Jeff, are you frozen?
No.
No.
I'm reading.
Oh, he's trying to look up taxidermist.
No, I'm trying to. I'm still trying to research private schools having their own private security and not having to do a guardian program. It looks like they can. It looks like they can hire their own private security.
It does.
It looks like it. I can't really tell by the statute, but I'm still reading. Any other questions?
Right. Do we have any more questions?
No, but Kat
Let's
says,
see, what
in
else?
the face.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to remember what other questions were asked on the various websites and stuff. So no, you still can't have marijuana. You can't open carry. It doesn't take place until July 1st.
So what you're saying is,
I think that's
I
it.
can't open carry without a license while going to the fair and smoking a joint.
Correct.
Doesn't affect background checks whatsoever.
Right.
You still have to wait.
That's when you buy a
days.
gun.
Yes.
Right.
You got one
So if
job.
you buy a firearm, you still have to do the 4473 and go through the background check. It's just with the license, you can walk out that day with the gun. Without it, you got to do the wait period.
Oh, you guys see what I got for a gift from Take Aim? Speaking about 4473.
The gold watch.
Don gave me a Colt. What is it? Mach 4 380 1911. Like a miniature, like the Mustangs. Except it's a little bit bigger. It's really cool.
It's really nice.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to shoot it yet, but it's really cool.
Cool. That was very nice of them.
And I got a little 1911. He made me pick it out, too. He's like, hey, I got to ask you a question. Which one of these you think is better? I'm like, I don't know, that one probably. He's like, all right, it's yours. I was like, really? So they're very good to me.
Yep.
And they're very, very supportive of me moving onward and upward. So
Kat says, nice gift.
it's a very nice gift.
Ed says, suppose to say you barbarian.
Why? Because I have a 1911?
I don't know.
I was gonna say
I'm waiting on my 2011 to finally get here.
that won 2 world wars, man. What the hell is he talking about?
What? 2 World Wars.
1911s.
Yep.
1911s. They've won 2 world wars.
Yep.
All the SIGs and the Berettas have done it are lose 4 wars in a row. So
What are you
I don't know
talking
what you're about? Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. We've lost all those wars, and that was after they switched from 1911s to Beretta. So causation equals correlation.
Yeah, I want a gun
Correlation
that's
equals
won
causation.
something in this century.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. We ain't won shit in this century. When's the last
Well, we
time
didn't
we won a
lose
war?
Korea. Korea, we just decided it was a tie. Right? Iraq, we just won and then left. Afghanistan, they wouldn't let us fight it completely. And then Biden got in charge and screwed the whole planet on that one. But, you know, I'm sure he made a ton of money from Russia and China on that. You know.
In Vietnam, we surrendered and fled in disgrace. So, yeah. Give me the 1911, 2 world wars.
Win all the battles and then, you know, lose a war.
Exactly.
That's impressive. But that's government for you. Good job. Gutless politicians. Plus, we were using the 1911 in Korea, right? In Vietnam.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They were switching over then, but still, right?
We didn't switch to the Beretta to the 80s. So that thing.
Well, then none of these guns have won wars. Then they also.
Okay, got to clarify. Did I hear correctly that starting July 1st, anyone can open carry without a permit? Al, you tuned in late.
No open carry. No, thank God. I'm like, hey there.
No open carry.
Jeff is right. All for freedom. Yay, freedom. But.
Period. You can't say but. See, the minute you say but, that means you ain't for freedom.
No, I'm all for freedom. I'm just not for idiots. I'm allowed to.
You'll never be able to get rid of those.
Nope. So I'm still not for them. That's it. Be part of the problem. You know, I'd rather be part of the solution. I've had guns all my life. I got a draw time of about 4.5 seconds. Very good. You'll be dead about 4 seconds before you take your first shot. I don't carry around in the chamber. Oh, boy. Don't worry. He'll let you get
the gun. You should like people. Well, if you think all these idiots are running around out there should open carry, wouldn't you want them not to have a round in the chamber? Then that means they won't shoot themselves. Sounds like that's what you're worried about.
There you go. Problem solved.
Exactly.
And now a big
tell everybody to carry without a round in the chamber.
Not carrying around in the chamber if they're going to carry. Matter of fact, they shouldn't even have any ammo in the gun anyways. But if we're going to get to that point, just carry a friggin' hammer and I'll feel a lot better. That's it. We're good.
Like
we have fixed like at Pelosi's house.
Right.
Oh, don't get me going on that.
Oh, boy.
It's funny how people see things when they want to believe something. Well, they don't have security at Nancy Pelosi's house when she's not there. Really? Like, you're an adult. All right.
Did you see, speaking of Nancy Pelosi's territory, did you see that the murder of that guy? So the guy who created Cash App, like the multi-millionaire guy who created Cash App, was walking down the street in Nancy Pelosi's like district in San Francisco, and he was stabbed to death.
That's right.
By who?
Like, just they don't know. The guy got away. Somebody just stabbed him and ran off. So he was like a very famous guy. Yeah, started Cash App. Like Elon Musk knows who he is. They've all like Bill Gates and all these guys tweeted out how horrible it was and everything else like that. He was just walking down the street in Nancy Pelosi's district in San Francisco and was randomly stabbed to death. And he walked up to a car and was like asking for help, and they were basically telling him to fuck off. And he lifted up his shirt and showed them like his stab wounds, and the car drove off.
There you go. Wow. Well, hey, you know what?
Yeah,
it's such a shitbag place.
I know, right?
Like,
San Francisco. Cash App's still going. But
Cash App, the app didn't get stabbed to death. So you're good.
The app's still going, and only the creator got stabbed to death. But yeah. I mean, famous, rich, famous guy goes for a walk, and that's a nice neighborhood. Like, he wasn't walking through The ghetto. He's walking through his, high upscale neighborhood and stabbed randomly on the street.
They're all ghettos in California now.
I don't disagree
It's
with
one
that.
big ghetto.
Well, did you see Gavin Newsom was in Florida today giving a speech about how shitty Florida is and how much better California is? He was here in Florida bashing DeSantis and Florida politics and saying that California is much better.
Well, the good thing is he's going to run for president, so we got that going for us.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait because the old guy's going to run again.
Yeah, I mean, he won the first time. Well, he won.
Yeah, he's the most votes of any president in the history of the history.
He is the most popular president ever. He's so good. He's so good.
History of histories.
China loves him.
But hey,
Russians love him.
he didn't get arrested for paying somebody off for $130,000, so he's better than Trump.
Taliban loves him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have
Trump
a 34-count indictment.
I could bring up charges against all of these things, so if I could actually get real charges. Well, it's a good thing we got like law-abiding citizens like Biden and his good
That's
son.
a legal definition of arrested. It's not a physical thing. They don't actually have to put cuffs on you and stuff to be arrested. That's a legal definition of being brought on charges or whatever. But yeah, $200 million it cost to have security in New York City to have him show up for that fucking half-hour arraignment. $200 million.
They don't care.
They don't care. He has another hearing in December, and they asked the judge if he could be excused, and if he didn't need to show up, and the judge's like, nah, he needs to show up. So that's another $200 million of taxpayers' money to show up for
we need to see him.
Status hearing.
We have to show it on camera.
We're not going to know where he's at. Maybe he'll flee. It's not like we're going to know where the freaking guy's at. He's probably going to be doing a speech or a rally somewhere. Pretty sure you can find him.
It's not hard to hunt him down.
Here by Zoom? They don't have Zoom in New York City? Come on. Yeah. It's so fucking stupid.
When they finally drop all this stuff and say it's all bullshit, can the people of New York, can they sue dipshit for $400 million of taxpayer money? Can they sue him for that?
But why would they want to? Something like 80% of them think Trump should be in jail. They're happy to spend the money for that. Why would they want to sue him?
Because he's
racist. They're not dropping it, by the way. There's no way they're going to drop it. A judge may throw it out based on statute of limitations and all the crap I talked about last week, but they're not going to. The prosecutor's not going to voluntarily drop these charges. They can't. They're like in it now.
It's like this, like all the idiots on Reddit and stuff like that. When are they going to try to figure out? When are they finally going to figure out that these idiots aren't trying to screw Trump? They're trying to screw us. You know what I mean? Like, if they would just let Trump go away, that'd be it.
That guy's not going away. He's running again.
They're just making it. They're just giving him momentum. You know,
but that's what they want.
They think they're giving him character assassination, right? But
his polling.
No,
are they really?
Yeah.
See?
His polling numbers are going up among Republicans, so it's making him the most likely candidate to run in the election, which is what they want. Because they believe Joe Biden will once again get the most votes in the history of American presidents, and he will win. Trump is the only person that they are convinced Biden can beat. So they want Trump to be the nominee because they think Biden's a shoo-in. If Trump's not the nominee, they're afraid of somebody like a DeSantis or somebody. This is all a strategy.
Who thinks he's going to get that many votes again? Have you talked to anybody that thinks
Why
that?
wouldn't he?
You're making this up. Like,
I'm not making it up. I'm saying that's their strategy.
I understand that, but have you heard anybody actually say they think Biden would get that many votes again?
I didn't hear anybody say they wanted Biden to get that many votes the first time. The guy was in his basement and was getting 6 people to show up to a rally, and yet somehow he got 80 million votes. So why wouldn't he get 80 million votes again.
Well, yeah, but that's a different topic. So, anyways,
I agree. So that, like, if they were able to do whatever they did in the most fair and freest election in the history of the world in 2020, why wouldn't they be able to do that again in 2024? And if it was legit and he did get that many votes, what has changed in the last few years that would make those people who voted for him last time say, well, I'm going to go ahead and vote for Trump again? Like, I don't know why they would switch. Why are those suburban moms going to switch back to Trump after the last 3 years?
Because they're realizing
Like,
that they can't survive at home and buy groceries.
They thought that in 2022, and yet they voted in all the Democrats in 2022 in the midterm elections, and all of Trump's candidates went down.
Yeah, but they weren't.
So
they weren't.
It obviously didn't matter that they were paying $4 a gallon for gas or $8 a gallon for eggs, because they all voted for the same people again.
Not in Florida.
That's one state, right? That's one state. He's going to win Florida, but he's got to win Wisconsin, Arizona, Pennsylvania. I don't know what makes those people switch back over to Trump. Doesn't mean it can't happen. I'm just saying it's going to be interesting. What are you doing? Are we doing the Egyptian?
I remember I went to bed one night and it looked like this, and I woke up the next morning and it seems that 5 minutes after I went to bed, all these votes got counted like that. And I'm thinking.
So what have you seen in the last 3 years that makes you think something like that's not going to happen again?
The rats are jumping ship. Like here's the deal. Sooner or later, they're going to stop putting, like, Hunter Biden needs to go to jail. Right? They can't cover for him. Someone.
He's still on the street.
Someone is going to get in trouble. And they're just dominoes. They're just weak. You know what I mean? They have. It's not like they have morals or ethics or anything. They're all just jump ship.
I agree with that. Not if that's going to put Trump in, though. That's the problem. Like, not to get too deep in the weeds, but yesterday there was an election in Wisconsin for Supreme Court judge. Apparently they elect their Supreme Court judges up there, and the Democratic Supreme Court nominee beat the Republican Supreme Court nominee by 10 points. So now they have a majority Democrat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. So you know what that's going to allow Wisconsin to do? Change all their voting laws again and make redistricting favorable to them. Trump needs to win Wisconsin. The senators lost last time around. The House of Representatives lost around. And now the Supreme Court judge won over the Republican judge by 10 points. I don't know what makes the people of Wisconsin all of a sudden in 2 years or a year and a half decide, let's go back and vote for Trump again. I think it's going to be a problem, but that's a political topic for another day. Any permitless carry questions? Let's stick to the fun stuff. No, you can't open carry your cannon or conceal your cannon. There's nothing in the law that says that.
Why can't you open carry a cannon?
Because there's no open carry in Florida. Well, I guess you could open carry your cannon if you're going camping or hunting.
Yeah, but do you have to conceal a cannon?
You can't conceal a cannon.
Like, do you
it's
have to?
It's not listed as one of the things you're allowed to conceal.
Is it?
No, there's a list of things that you're allowed to conceal. Cannon's not on it.
So I can walk around with my cannon just waving it around, right?
Yeah, where's our cannon guy?
No, there's no open carry.
But you don't have to conceal a cannon.
You can't conceal it. It's not that you don't have to. You're not permitted to.
That's not true.
You're not permitted to open carry or conceal carry a cannon.
Look, here's the deal. If I get searched and somebody finds a concealed cannon on me, and I find out that I'm not supposed to be concealing it, you're in trouble.
No. You're going to get charged with CCC, carrying concealed cannon.
I have a mini cannon.
Now the mini cannon, I don't know what would happen with that. That's not going to classify as a firearm because it doesn't have enough.
I get like a big hat and put it underneath my hat on my head.
A mini cannon?
Yeah, that way if I get robbed, they'd be like, give me everything you got. And I go, all I got is that. Bah!
No, you have one of those cool belts like from the Old West shows or whatever where the gun pops out of the belt. Yep. Bang. Correct. Or those things that used to go, that they would go on their arm and you point your arm out and the little 22 pops out in your
Yeah, but
arm and they shoot
you have
people.
to point it out like this so the thing would sit in your hand. Then
Right
you can
there,
light
yep.
it.
And then you just bang, bang. Yep. Apparently, according to every Old West movie, everybody carried those and they worked perfectly. Perfectly. In 1885. Perfectly.
Yep. Right.
Bang.
So Kat was saying,
Perfectly cocked, ready to go.
She said Chicago just voted in someone worse than Lightfoot.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Way left.
The mayor election was yesterday, and they got rid of Lightfoot in the primaries, and it was between a former law enforcement guy who was endorsed by the police union and a lefty who's more lefty than Lori Lightfoot was. Guess which one won the election?
Yep.
Exactly.
All you gotta do is say, tell them you'll give them money, right, and blame it on Trump.
Yeah.
And you get elected.
Well, the first thing he did when he got in there was say he's gonna go more progressive. He's gonna hire social workers and mental health people to go with cops to domestic violence calls instead of police officers. He said those are the first things that he's going to do. Then, of course, the police union said, yeah, like 50% of our guys are probably going to quit. So that place is going to turn into a bigger shithole in like the next 30 to 60 days because all their cops are going to quit.
Yeah.
And on election day, they had six people were shot.
That's awesome.
On election day, 6 people were shot.
What they need is some gun laws.
Yeah, more gun laws.
Right. They need some strict gun laws.
No, just common sense. They need more common sense.
I agree.
Because that is
all those people that bring them over from Indiana. They like to blame Indiana.
Indiana. It's Indiana's fault.
Mm-hmm.
You need to wrap it up. It's after 9.
All right.
Yep, let's wrap it up. All right. Hey, if anybody has any more permitless carry questions, again, I did make a video on it a couple days ago that answered most of the questions. If you subscribe and go to that video, I told people to put questions in the comments. If you have any questions, just go find that video, ask a question in the comment. Obviously, I get notified when there's YouTube comments, and I'll reply, and I'll answer the question. You can Facebook message me as well. I don't mind answering those questions because I really don't want people to get confused by this and get popped out there because they don't know what they're talking about. So before you just start doing crazy shit with your gun because you think Florida's now the Wild Wild West, watch some videos, do some research, read the damn bill. That's the easiest thing people can do is Google it and read what the words say. Don't read the articles. Don't read CNN or Newsweek or whatever. Read the damn bill. It answers all of your questions. And more importantly, subscribe to Musings with MGL. And you can check our comments below.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I'll answer all of your questions.
All right, peeps.
Anything else? Hey, you said peeps. It's
Let's
Easter.
get a date. Oh, happy Easter to everyone.
Happy Easter. Happy Passover. Or Passover's going on right now. So happy do you say happy Passover? Because that's when they murdered like all the firstborns in Egypt. But I guess they didn't murder the firstborn Jewish people. So it is happy for them, I guess.
Happy for them.
Happy Passover. You got Good Friday tomorrow, Easter on Sunday. And if you don't celebrate any of those things, just have a happy weekend.
Don't tell me happy Easter. I'm offended.
Oh, God. You said something about dates?
Yeah, we need a date. Let's do an outdoor show in May.
Oh, I'm married, dude. Back off.
Yeah, but you're a good-looking man. Don't think I haven't noticed.
I don't disagree with that. Never have. Never will.
Let's find a place.
Fucking sexy.
Everybody has a business they want us to come in and do a show at. Let us know.
Yeah, that's
As
true.
long as you got good internet.
Anybody wants us to do that, we can do that. Well, now that you're free on most days, we'll set up some lunch. We're gonna get some stuff. All these things we've been saying since like October we're gonna start doing. Now we actually have time to do it because you've got maybe a little bit of free time on your hands, so we can get all that stuff done. I got somebody who's gonna make the shirts. We got some advertisement we're gonna be doing. So yeah, we're gonna pump it up. We say that every week though. So 103 subscribers is all I need, people. Do that. Watch us every Friday or Thursday. Frontside Press, 8-ish. Spread the word.
All right. Thanks
Anything
again to
else?
everybody. Play music. Take us
All
out.
right. you have any questions, let us know.